When we think of pets, we often think of companionship, playtime, maybe a few chewed up shoes. But for many, animals can provide something much deeper: emotional healing. That's where emotional support animals, or ESAs, come in.
He's literally saved me. I've gone through so much trauma in such a short span of time. And like, honestly, I don't know how most times I get through things. And the genuine like answer is like, I have tempo to like calm me down. And he's always going to be there.
Unlike regular pets, ESAs are prescribed by licensed mental health professionals. Their role isn't just to keep someone company, it's to help manage conditions like anxiety, depression, or PTSD. While they don't need specialized training like service dogs, ESAs are legally recognized as part of a person's mental health treatment plan.
Yeah, there are a lot of ways in which having an animal around can help an individual with depression or anxiety. And it's not just the animal being there, it's what the animal's care requires the person to do to adequately care for the animal.
Baxter's my emotional support dog, and he's the best. He's the best thing that's happened to me in a very long time. He does just about everything for me. We just got him a little while ago.
Boots is my cat. I love him with my whole entire heart and life. We rescued him. We brought him to the vet, got him all of his shots, cleaned him up. I'd also been going through some like mental health issues at the time, dealing with a lot of stress at school. So I thought that I wanted to apply to make him an ESA. So that's when I started moving towards bringing him in to purchase. So yeah, and we've been together ever since.
He provides a huge service to me just by being my dog and existing and knowing my needs. And when I need emotional support, he's always there. He knows immediately when things are going wrong for me emotionally, and he's always there to support me.
The process for applying for an ESA at purchase is not nearly as easy as it should be, in my personal opinion. And it's not as easy as they let on. There are a lot of hoops that you need to jump through to really even get what you need. I had to get like signatures and a ton of paperwork filled out. I had to, spend hundreds of dollars to make sure that he had the right shots, to make sure that that paperwork was filled out. It was probably a 2-month long process. You need a signature from your mental health professional. They need to help fill out your paperwork, because it's not just a signature, it's also like an in-depth like document that they need to fill out, as well as you need to fill out about like your current like mental like scenario and like what you're dealing with at the time. You also need like your own like special doctor's note, all the information about them, their medical history, everything like that. You also need to have their medical history on file, and you also need to fill out a rather large questionnaire about like what you're going through and why you feel like you need to have an ESA on campus. And it's a little taxing, and considering I was going through a pretty rough mental health crisis, putting even more like barriers and hoops up to get something that helped me a lot definitely made things harder for a while. Not having him, when I really truly believe that he could have helped me even sooner than he did.
Baxter, sit. Paul?
You can't ask a dog to show up for you like a human would. And it would be really strange if you asked a human to show up for you like a dog or a cat would. But, that's not to say that these aren't really powerful connections we can form with animals. And sometimes they are more beneficial than human to human bonds, because humans have their own things going on.
Max.
He's like literally like how everyone's like, oh, the best friend you could ever have, but literally like just an undying love that literally will never change because you are their world. He could tell like when I'm just, even when I'm sick and I'm like coughing, like he'll just stay with me all day. Like he's very attached, as am I.
College students in particular are finding relief in ESAs. Between academic pressure, homesickness, and the rising rates of mental health challenges on campuses, these animals can be a stabilizing force. Research from places like the University of Georgia shows students with ESAs report significantly lower levels of loneliness and anxiety.
We as a society should perhaps push towards treating mental health issues like physical health issues and, not really observing a rigid barrier between the two. Oftentimes, there are comorbidities between physical issues and mental issues. And I think there is a larger push in a lot of circles to accept emotional support animals.
I had a dog named Sadie who tragically passed in a house fire where I lost all my possessions and unfortunately lost Sadie as well. So I've been missing that presence of a dog in my life quite a bit, more than I ever thought I could. It's been very, very hard for me. And it just so happens that Baxter was born near the anniversary of the fire where Sadie was lost, unfortunately. But it just really feels like he's a gift from her and her spirit.
Just like somebody may be prescribed a medication to help with depression or anxiety, maybe that wouldn't be for them. Maybe, they have some sort of pre-existing health condition that would bar them from being able to safely take that medication. Or maybe they just don't want to take medication, and that's also totally okay. They live in a house where, they can have an animal and they're entirely capable of caring for an animal.
Compared to like medication, which I am also on, the medication, it's more of a chemical thing for your brain, whereas having an ESA, it's almost like a lifestyle change in like a certain way, It's like nature and nurture in a sense, where like nature is like, what you're wired with, and that's different, but the nurture part, which is like your surroundings and the world around you is so different, medication can't solve any of that for you. Like I have ADHD, and the medication helps a little bit with like focus and like just mental clarity, but when it comes to like actually introducing structure into my life and setting good habits, and being social, and all of that, and not like getting myself in a depressive rut, the medication doesn't really help for that, whereas Boots definitely did, without it, like a doubt in my mind.
While therapy and medication are often essential, studies have shown that emotional support animals can reduce cortisol levels, regulate heart rate, and boost serotonin, natural stress fighters. For some, this means fewer panic attacks, more restful sleep, and even improved social interaction.
I think one interesting point of tension in these debates is that it also depends on what's healthy for the animal. I mean, we can't prescribe animals like medication. This has to be a symbiotic bond in which, these animals are also being taken care of.
A lot of us have struggled with like mental health issues, and honestly, like he's not just helping me, like he's helping out everyone that lives in this apartment. Like he won't leave me. As soon as I lay in bed, like he won't leave me. So like that's when it struck me, like, oh my God, like I actually have to care for another human, and like human, because he is like a human to me. Definitely, like he has his own personality. I think he's like a gay man, but that's like my own thing.
Still, the medical world has mixed feelings. Many clinicians recognize the benefits, but there's concern over misuse. Some worry about people claiming pets as ESAs without a valid diagnosis, which can dilute the legitimacy of true cases. There's also debate around eligibility. Some housing providers and airlines have pushed back, calling for tighter regulations to prevent fraud.
Emrick's mood has changed for the best with Baxter in his life. He's a lot more happy when in stressful moments he gets to hug the dog, and Baxter notices when people are sad, so he goes over and he cuddles a little bit. Sometimes he bites, which is fine. It's distracting, so maybe it gets your mind off things. Baxter, sit. But Paul? Emrick's pretty happy to take him outside and just hang out with him, and he's just a lot more energetic and ready to go out and do things with Baxter. So It's a good thing.
Stand up, stand up.
And I'm also feeding a cat. And it's not a burden for me to go get him food or toys or like make sure that he's okay. Like, especially when I got him neutered and stuff, like that's all stuff that made me genuinely happy because I'm taking care of him and he's safe and he's loved, and that's all that matters to me.
The thing about having an ESA, especially one that was like Boots, you know, with his calm temperament, is like, it's just like a net positive, you know? I got to take care of him every day, feed him same time every day, and that gave me some stability, and it gave me a lot of structure in my life that I really needed to help me get by.
There's a very rich body of literature surrounding this subject, and if anyone is interested or curious as to whether or not ESAs are actually effective, I mean, a quick Google search would certainly verify this.
At the core, though, the need is real. For many students and individuals struggling silently, an ESA isn't just a pet, it's a lifeline.